I'm Ross Mandell, and welcome to my show. Boy, it's good to be back here today. We're coming to you live. We're live from Boca Raton, Florida, at the lovely Epic Studios. Yes, it's not so lovely today. I gotta tell you the truth. It's pouring out. In Florida, when it rains, boy, it comes down. Big drops and a lot of them. And it's something you don't really see in the Northeast, coming from New York. I come at you today live, uncut, uncensored, unfiltered, unedited, and under arrest. It would be funny if it wasn't true. It's no joke. About a year ago, I was arrested by the federal government, was charged with securities fraud and conspiracy to commit securities fraud. And I'm currently out on $5 million bail. And my name is Ross Mandell, and you could learn more about me. You go to my website, rossmandell.com, or you can email me directly, ross@rossmandell.com, or on Facebook, Ross Mandell, double S and double L. I have a lot to say today. News headline today. There's still, the country is up in arms over the mosque that is supposed to be Islamic Learning Center, 13 stories. A mosque is trying to be opened by Ground Zero in New York, the scene of the bombing of the World Trade Center, when 3,300 Americans, men, women, children, were incinerated in a religious crime. Yes, it was a religious crime. 19 Islamic men hijacked 4 planes, and they essentially had a suicide run. As you know, 2 planes, hit the World Trade Centers on September the 11th at around 10 a.m. in the morning in a coordinated attack. And these fellas, I guess, they believed that, they're going to die for Islam. They're going to kill the infidels in a jihad, which comes right out of the Quran or right out of Islam. And they're going to be reborn in heaven. And each guy is going to get 50 virgins. 50 virgins. I mean, frankly, it sounds pretty good. If I was a little bent and I wasn't a sober guy, things were a little tough, I might go for that whole pitch, because 50 virgins, baby. It takes a lot of work, a lot of man to handle 50 virgins, let me just tell you. But on a serious note, these Islamic movement, they were insisting that they have this property and they want to turn it into a mosque. And if you look throughout history, Islam has a way of conquering land, conquering countries. They did it in Spain. They've done it all over the world at various times. The great, you have so many instances. And they build these towering achievements to their religion, almost as a sign. They do it on sort of sacred or holy ground. They build mosques and so forth, and it's just wrong. It doesn't make sense. I was very proud to see over the weekend there were riots, there were protests. That's America, where we can emphasize our right to exercise. I believe that if the Muslims continue on this path, they're going to get exactly what they don't want. They should gently and quietly move the mosque somewhere else, practice their faith openly. It's a beautiful religion. But when it's used for political gain and political purpose like this, it's a huge mistake. And America will rise up, and they will squash this, and it will continue to escalate unless they get it, and our politicians wake up and say, "Oh, this doesn't make any sense. There's too many raw open wounds. There are too many dead sons and dead daughters that were killed in the name of Islam. We do not need a mosque there." Now, I also read today, major news headline, there are 16 million American children that are starving. that are going hungry every day. They're unfed. Now, can you imagine if they're not fed? I mean, who's looking out for them? Guess what? Nobody. 16 million American children. You know, instead of spending $100 million to open a mosque, why don't you feed the children of America? You want to be accepted. You want love. You want to be a part of this great country. Why don't you feed the children with this 100 million? Can you imagine? You know, quick note. Roger Clemens was indicted on Friday, a few days ago. The United States government is going to prosecute him on 6 counts. Federal court. You're talking $10 million to go through a trial. $10 million. It'll cost Clemens $2 million. Why do we need this in our lives? 16 million kids can be fed for that $12 million. Please, please, somebody listening. We have to make some sense out of all this. I got to tell you, I get chest pains when I think of this kind of thing. It's just outrageous. I'm a fellow who is currently under arrest. I'm out on $5 million bail. For nothing, for nonsense. I'm not guilty of these charges. I've been wrongfully charged. And can you imagine all the money being spent by the government, by the prosecutors, by myself, by other defendants? Let's just feed kids, hungry children. It's outrageous, the stupidity that's going on in this country. It's just government-run riot. Now, thank God I'm in a very calm place right now. Because otherwise I might get really worked up and you'll see veins popping out of my head. I'm spitting as it is. You know, this morning I got a phone call. I was in the midst of going through my casework because my lawyer has me looking through indexes at about 1 million documents. I'm not even exaggerating. It's closer to 2 million. And I'm doing this show, and I'm doing a reality show, and a few other things going on like that in my life. I'm a father, I'm a husband. I took my kids to school this morning, first day of school, first full day. And I got a call. I got a call from an alcoholic, a young man who 100 days ago was a wreck. Drinking, drugging, crashing cars, just horrible. You know, DUI, DWI, destruction of property, etc., and so forth. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying. And we got this fellow on a good path. He's now sober 99 days. He's going to meetings. He went to a detox/rehab/halfway house facility, and he's working on steps. He called today and said, would I take him to a meeting? I'm doing 100 things. I'm busy. But you know what? 19 and a half years ago, when I got sober, people dropped their lives to give to me what was so freely given to them. And when an alcoholic reaches out his hand, then you better be there. You better be there. And I dropped what I was doing. I picked him up, and we went to a meeting, a famous meeting here in Boca Raton, Florida, which it's just really a whole cool scene. It's all about recovery and good people, and it's just a whole community. And if you're not familiar, then I would urge you, if you have an issue, you should become familiar. If you don't have an issue, good for you. We need civilians in this world that don't have a drinking or drug problem. But you should become familiar too. You see, Alcoholics Anonymous is a 12-step program. Just like all the anonymous programs, whether it's Narcotics Anonymous or Cocaine Anonymous or Debtors Anonymous, there's literally 150 of them today. And the reason is that they've designed a spiritual program, which is a blueprint for living your life.